Trevor Williams with your latest in sports. In today's public comments at the WSU Board of Regents meeting, we're defending Cougar defensive lineman Robert Barber. But Colorado came up with the shot that counted on Friday. I'll tell you what, it feels good to start it off beating the Huskies. Always good to see that. They also sweep both Arizona State and Arizona on the season. It is the Cougars' first appearance in the poll since 2009 and highest ranking since 2002. Up 2 at the break, they went 9 of 30 from 3, but they did come climbing back in the fourth quarter to race a deficit and force overtime. And she added a stellar 14 digs on the night to help the Cougars win sets 2, 3, and 4. Shalom Luani is off the hook. This afternoon, Whitman County's prosecuting attorney announced he will not pursue charges against the Washington State safety. Luani was involved in an incident outside of a Domino's August 24th. In today's report, the prosecuting attorney stated he cannot prove that Luani was not acting in self-defense when he punched another man in the face. Excited to get down to business at home, the Cougars couldn't put the finishing touch on any of their 23 shot attempts and fell 1-0.
23 shots to 8. We had opportunities to win the game. We did not. They're a very good team. They do what they do well. We do what we do well. Fortunately, we didn't finish our chances tonight.
For the Cougars, it was a great night offensively to start it off. They had 22 shots at goals like this all night long, but Colorado came up with the shot that counted on Friday. With 1:20 left in regulation, this was Colorado's first shot on goal. A bit of a controversial play as the Buffalo's attacker sent a Cougar defender flying. WSU clobbered Colorado in possession throughout the match, but a lack of a finish in front of net cost the Cougars. Junior defender Kelsey Crenshaw felt like there are lessons to be learned from the team's first match.
Our possession in general was really good. We just need to finish our chances, like 23-8. That's the shows right there that we just need to finish in front of the goal.
And the Cougars hope to take that finishing touch to the Bay Area this weekend to get back in rhythm against Stanford in California. Yeah, Devin, today's public comments at the WSU Board of Regents meeting, we're defending Cougar defensive lineman Robert Barber, who is currently serving a WSU suspension for his involvement in a July fight. Barber was originally expelled by WSU, then the Conduct Board changed that to a suspension on appeal. This week, Washington State Senator Michael Bumgarner got very involved with the issue, saying he is defending higher education. And now the university is defending claims made in Whitman County Court by Barber's legal team that the Conduct Board is discriminating against Barber. WSU President Kirk Scholes opened today's comments with a statement and an alternative for the suspended Barber to finish school while off campus.
Our Provost Dan Bernardo and other academic affairs staff have developed a course of action by which Mr. Barber can complete the coursework necessary to complete his degree and graduate in December of 2016.
That plan angered State Senator Baumgartner, who also took on WSU's claim that Barber poses a threat to other students on campus.
You said that Robert Barber can't be on this campus. That is absurd. If he couldn't be on this campus, you could have suspended him immediately. And you've already said he can come back to campus in his initial suspension. It makes absolutely no sense. So those are all concerns. We're going to find out those issues, but I'm just asking you as human beings to do the right thing here.
Jill Ostermeyer, a parent of 2 WSU student athletes, also feels like the Conduct Board and university are overlooking the impact of their actions on Barber's pending legal case.
He's been tried and convicted in the public court of opinion, and nobody is saying anything about that. Well, Cook Nation is saying something about that, but the university hasn't really recognized that, and quite frankly has bought into this, this trial by public fire.
And WSU football wide receiver Gabe Marks also feels as though the voices of many are being ignored by the university, Conduct Board, and Board of Regents.
I would lose sleep over the fact that I made a decision like this about somebody's life.
Clearly, this issue has brought forth a lot of emotion for the community and Washington State University. There were more comments made after we had to leave the meeting, with State Senator Baumgartner at one point saying to the Regents, quote, "If you don't fix this, I goddamn will." He also called for the Conduct Board to rescind all non-Title IX suspensions. Robert Barber and his attorney also joined the meeting after we left. At the time of today's show taping, the meeting was still in session. We will have full coverage of the comments and the fallout on Monday. Back to you guys.
The sport can be tremendously hard if you aren't dancing together.
The on-water dance has been 10 years in the making for Canadian WSU senior and Cougar rower Nicole Hare.
My first on-water practice, I could say, was pretty bad. I didn't know what to wear. I literally wore a bathing suit under all my clothes. That's really not normal. So,
But Nicole Hare is far from normal. Since picking up an oar at age 12, she's been named a two-time NCAA All-American and even competed on the world stage.
in the rowing world, the Olympics is the big thing.
It wasn't just the big thing for Cougar Rowing's leading Canadian, it was everything. She took a year off from WSU to train in Canada's pair, then she qualified for the Olympic Games at Rio.
I love Canada and I love racing, and pairing the two, I'm like, this is the best. I specifically remember my first national race wearing the Canadian uni suit, and I looked down and I was like, I have a maple leaf on me right now, and I'm racing for Canada, and that is so cool.
Racing for Canada, under watchful eye.
I do remember looking up at Christ the Redeemer, who was looking over the Lagoa, and I'm not religious in any way, but I have to say that was pretty dang cool.
But still is one of the Pac-12's most experienced rowers, and back from that surreal first Olympic experience, she doesn't yet have the fame of other WSU Olympians. And sometimes her Canadian gear throws classmates off, and they wonder,
are you a super fan? He's like, you just have all the Canada gear. Like, oh, actually, I went to the Olympics, and he's like, what? Can I tell my friends I'm in a group with an Olympian?
yes, if you share a class with Hare or if you see her on campus, you can say you know an Olympian who's training through the winter with Cougar pride for Canada and for one more spring season at Washington State.
We're capable of such great things. Our top athletes, I truly believe, can be top of the NCAA.
And maybe even top of the world one day, as long as they and she remember.
You still need to find that dance with it.
Reporting from Murrow News 8, I'm Trevor Williams. There was plenty to scream about Sunday for the WSU volleyball team. Led by junior Casey Shaneline, the Cougars finished off a weekend sweep. Number 25 Arizona couldn't handle the outside hitters' swings or blocks as the Cougars marched to their 19th win, the most for the program in its last 14 years.
It's a really exciting victory for us. Winning in 5 is always fun, and especially when we've had a little rut, and to get out and just know that we're still pushing, we're still fighting is huge.
The win didn't come without anxious moments. Twice the Wildcats came back to tie the match, but WSU got head coach Jen Greeny her 200th career win in an outstanding 5th set.
A great win for us against a very, very good Arizona team. I was really happy how we battled and, just were able to pull out the victory. Very proud of this team.
Sophomore outside hitter McKenna Woodford and senior outside hitter Kyra Holt also gave the Cougars a lift, each notching double-doubles.
All three of them did a fantastic job, especially Casey Shaneline. She was just big time this afternoon, and, I would really like the way that she was super aggressive, and it really showed in the numbers.
For the Cougars, the win on Sunday makes it their second of the weekend. They also sweep both Arizona State and Arizona on the season and are up to 9-7 in Pac-12 play with 4 matches to go in the regular season. Reporting from Murrow News 8, I am Trevor Williams. Washington State women's basketball had a chance to dethrone the undefeated Boise State Broncos yesterday. With head coach June Doherty up against her former team, the Cougs were off to a roaring start. 2 Chanel Molina threes helped WSU out to a 12-point lead, and Nike McClure played human fly swatter. The Broncos broke through with a momentum-shifting buzzer beater in the first quarter, which sparked a 15-9 run in the second. While Boise bounced back, the Cougars collapsed from the field.
We went for long stretches in that second quarter of not scoring buckets. So got to stay aggressive against any kind of press and got to move the basketball and get better shots.
For the Cougars, it was a rough shooting night that lost them a first-half lead. Up 2 at the break, they went 9 of 30 from 3, but they did come climbing back in the fourth quarter to race a deficit and force overtime. The Cougars' late rally got a kickstart. Spurred by tenacious drives to the rack, WSU started to make some noise. Capped by a Kayla Haley three-pointer, the furious WSU rally knotted the score with seconds to play, and the team came back from 12 down to force overtime. But in overtime, with gritty defense and a flash of brilliance, the Broncos flattened the Cougars' spirit 77-73, all while injured forward Lou Brown was stuck on the bench. Washington State is working to get its legs back before a 6-game road trip opens at Gonzaga Thursday night. For Murrow News 8, I'm Trevor Williams.